Welcome back to a Raptors podcast. I am your host, as always, Lucky Roberts, as I welcome you back with the ninth win on the Raptors season. The Raptors are now 9-31. They went 1-3 in this past week with a win against the Golden State Warriors. And I'll be completely honest. The reason the Raptors win this game is because they shoot 40% from three and 50% from the floor, when the Warriors shot less than 35% from three and less than 40% from the field. And so, you can make all the conclusions you want to draw from that, but the Raptors had their shots falling tonight against the Warriors, and the Warriors just weren't. The Raptors still only muster 104 points, which is, less than ideal, but still a very, a good win when you can get one for sure. And I like that I've seen in the past week less of a focus for Scotty offensively, although, I still wish I could see effort for all the Raptors players on every single game, because I feel like even though it's, unofficial, I think there's been some sort of communication, some sort of acknowledgement that this season is going to be a wash. And I think the players have acknowledged that and sort of phoned it in a little bit. So if once you see, Scotty Barnes not giving you the full effort, that's when you really know, because you watch back and that was the one thing he always did. And, Chris Boucher is looking like one of the only players who's coming off the bench and he's going to bring some energy and give you a game. He had 18.7 boards in this one. Really great. He's been ultra efficient from the three-point line, which has sort of always been his swing skill. On this season so far, he's 35% from three, which is pretty good for him along his career. And so for him to be efficient from three and provide some good defense and some big energy, getting some offensive boards. He had 4 offensive boards in this one. Total had 13 boards in total. And that's the one, usually that's where the Raptors fall, where they don't have oh my God, they don't have the advantage at center with the big men. But if you look at the Warriors, they're starting Trace Jackson Davis. And as much as Warriors fans want people to think that Trace Jackson Davis is a serviceable starting center, he's just not. He's 1 for 4 from the field today, but it's not just that. It's just the fact that he's not showing a lot of energy. He's not super athletic as a whole. He's sort of just a trotting big man who's not that big, not that strong, still missing a little bit of agility. And so when you look at his stats today, 3.6 boards, 3 assists, that's sort of what you expect from him. And you look at the Golden State Warriors team as a whole, like I said, and they're lacking some depth here. They're playing Lindy Waters the third, 22 minutes. Guy Santos gets 12 minutes. Moses Moody hasn't really shown much to show me that he's an NBA player. Goes 0 for 6 in this one, missing a lot of shots. He's very, very struggled. Draymond Green should have started for my fantasy team, but unfortunate. And when you don't have your shooters, like Buddy Hield scoring a bunch, and when it was a lot more of a tempered game for Steph Curry, all of a sudden, the Warriors struggle to score. And it's really important you look down the stretch. Who did the Warriors go to? They were down by 3. They needed threes. Andrew Wiggins, with about 27 seconds left, he's taking a shot because he's trying to get a 2 for 1. 2 shots at the apple. He takes the first one, moving 3, catch and shoot. That's a fine shot. I wouldn't love Andrew Wiggins with it, but he's 4 for 8 on the game from 3. You're gonna let that fly, especially when a 2 for 1 opportunity. And then the second they do, with 3 seconds left, they call a timeout, even though it looked like, to me, there was a little bit of walking going on, but we'll just let that go, I guess. And you look with Steph Curry is obviously the guy they're going to feed it. Raptors double, Raptors reject. And they go to Buddy Hield, who is 2 for 9, I guess, at this point in the game. 3 for 12. And he dribbles left into an instant blitz by the Raptors defenders. Heaves up a 3. not even close. Completely air balls to tie the game, and the Raptors end up winning by 3, 104-101. And yeah, just not a lot of places to go with the basketball if you're the Golden State Warriors, and it's honestly, I think, a testament to their coaching and their stars that they do have, that they're even 19-20 at this point, because this team isn't as deep as past Warriors teams. That's for sure. And the Raptors sneak out with a win, which is an amazing accomplishment for this Toronto Raptors team. And I'm very happy about Abaji with a good game, RJ Barrett with a good game, Grady Dick with a good game. Lots of good games. Davion Mitchell sort of the only real wart here. Everybody else played pretty well, and it still took us only three. We were still only a 3-point victors in this one, even though a lot of our guys played pretty well. Let's talk about some of the losses from this week. We'll start with the good, with the Cavaliers loss, where the Raptors were leading into the fourth, and it was one of those games I was talking with my friends as we were watching, and I was like, there's absolutely no way the Raptors win this one. Even with the lead, you knew Cleveland was going to come back, and eventually they did, especially when just looking at the fact that the Raptors have a record of 1-17 this season away from home, and the Cavs have a record of 20-1 at home. And so both teams really have to buck the trend here for the Raptors to win in Cleveland. And it didn't happen. It was a really, really dominating performance from Darius Garland, which is the only excuse for him to get MVP chance, by the way. Even though, look, I don't think he should be getting them anyway. But whatever, 40 points for Garland, 9 assists. He was amazing. I wish I still had him on my fantasy team. I do have Mobley, though, who dropped 21 and 11. He was great, 6 assists as well. And, Jared Allen as well, 15 boards. Really impressive what he's been able to do this season, as well as their other guys, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert. But it's really, this lineup just works so well together, gels so well together, and even when you don't have Donovan Mitchell, you can still have Darius Garland pop off. You can still elevate Mobley to a bigger role, Allen to a bigger role, Karis LeVert to a bigger role. And then you got guys like shooters like Niang, Strus, Isaac Okoro off the bench. Isaac Okoro not as much of a shooter. But you got those guys coming off the bench to really fill out the spots in the lineup that they need to. And they're capable of playing more minutes and playing at a spot. And they showed that here in this game. Even though, some of them were -12, -2, they still were in the game. And for the Raptors, it was a near triple-double for Scotty Barnes. 3 steals, 8 assists, 10 rebounds, 24. He was really, really great in this one. Didn't force the threes, which is my favorite part of this one. He let, our shooters shoot. Like Chris Boucher, who shot 5 for 8 for 3, 23 points, 27 minutes in total, 12 boards. Huge energy lift there. Jamal Shed has been really impressive in the last couple of minutes he's been given, last couple of stints. He has 15 points in this one. He's sort of, going even for even with Davion Mitchell for that backup point guard role, with Emmanuel Quickly back in the starting lineup, but Quickly hasn't been up to the bill of his contract just yet. Grady Dick with 11 points, Quickly with 10 in this one, 7 assists, but you'd like to see a bit more, especially defensively, where you can get better defense from Jamal Shed, and Jamal Shed hit all 3 of his 3-pointers, with Quickly going 2 for 6 and only hitting 2 other shots in the game. RJ Barrett, obviously, he's going to get his. He had 20 in this one, 5, 5, and 20, 2 steals, 4 turnovers, but Barrett was all right in this one. And then, Pirtle is going to get 17 points. He's going to get 7 rebounds, but he also had 6 assists, being able to, when he is doubled, being able to look around, find the open person, throwing in 3 steals and a block as well. Just super impressive against the Cavaliers. But yeah, like I said, you knew you were going to lose this game. Even though the Raptors shoot really, really impressively, their defense still isn't nearly good enough to even think about defending the Cavaliers, even without Donovan Mitchell. And they did as well as they could to make it as close as they could, but just was not good enough. And we're still pretty far away from how good the Cavaliers have been playing this season. Now at 33-4, which is incredible for the Cavaliers. We move on to Pistons Raptors game here, where the Raptors lose. It's crazy that how the table is flipped to the point where the Pistons have won the 3 games in this season series, and they look like the dominating team. They're probably coming into Toronto thinking like, okay, now we can bring our fans here, cause a little trouble as the Raptors did to them for years and years and years. I'm sure they're reveling in it. The Raptors at one point did lead in the fourth quarter with about 10 minutes left, but once again, you were sort of looking down the Pistons and what they've been able to do this season, especially of recent, as they are on winning 9 of 11 of their last games. They've been really impressive. Tim Hardaway just goes off in this one. He was a killer every single time he shot it. I was thinking that's going in. That was really frustrating. 7 for 8 from 3, 27 points, plus 22. Their starters killed us in this one. Cade Cunningham as well. 17 assists, 10 rebounds, triple-double, 22 points. Almost with a quadruple-double with his turnovers, though, with 8 turnovers. But he was really impressive. Malik Beasley, their scores are going to score. And, I think if you're playing the Raptors, pick their perimeter star, whatever team we're playing, pick the perimeter stars over for points or, over for plus minus or something like that, because they are going to go off, because we don't really have defense on the perimeter, especially when we're starting Jamal Shed and Davion Mitchell off the bench. And Jamal Shed just completely stole the backup point guard role. If you're going to call Bruce Brown a backup point guard, I guess you can have that argument, but Jamal Shed plays over Davion Mitchell for 17 points. Davion Mitchell does not play, coach's decision. Plus 17 Jamal Shed was in those minutes. The only big plus-minus guy in this entire game for the Raptors, and he continues to show why he's effective. He's getting into passing lanes. He's being really, really energetic. He's running the offense when he can, and when he's hitting his threes as well, it's really hard not to put him on the court because he just impacts the game in so many ways. And he's, I think he's going to be here for quite a while in a Raptors uniform. But yeah, another loss for the Raptors. Just couldn't guard them a lick of it on the perimeter. 57% from threes for the Pistons. That's been their success, and sort of I think that's where the Raptors are heading with Darko. We're trying to make that our success. We just don't have the shooters, we don't have the players, and we definitely don't have the defense to be able to stop the Pistons. With our third loss against them this year, the first 2 were close. This one, not slightly close at all. And then finally, with a game against the Knicks, it was a really great game for OG Anunoby, who had 27 points. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns, who's jumped and burst onto the scene this season. Moving to the Knicks, he's really found his ability to gel with Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, pick and roll, stuff like that, pick and pop. 3 for 3 from 3 in this one. OG, 4 for 6. Mikal Bridges struggled, but that just, OG's given a lot more shots, a lot more freedom, and he's able to capitalize. And both Mikal, OG, good defenders. Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson can do some stuff defensively, and Cat has been, building in that area. He's limiting the personal fouls, only 3 in this one. And this lineup starts to look monster as this season chugs along, and the Knicks really, really suffocated the Raptors in this one. Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel quickly did what they could, but couldn't really, get anything else outside of the shots that they're going to get through the offense going. And nobody else was, Grady Dick was 1 for 6. Bruce Brown, 2 for 5. Raptors, 16 turnovers. That's just way too many, and it was spread against everybody. Podol got stripped a lot of times. Grady Dick with some turnovers. Scotty Barnes with only 1, which is surprising for him, especially because he led with the Raptors with 5 assists. Not a lot of assists, to be honest. But yeah, impressive play from the Knicks. Once again, you're going to expect them to win this game. Raptors were never really in it. And it's great to see OG thriving with the Knicks and finding a really good spot for him to flourish. Especially, you see Siakam doing the same in Indiana. Both of them look like they found the correct spots for themselves and are really doing well by it. Surely OG is going to get paid. I think he already has, maybe. Anyway, let's look at the further schedule for the Toronto Raptors. This next coming week, we have a Wednesday game against Boston, a Friday game against Milwaukee, and that'll actually probably be it. And then I'll come back to you guys. These ticket prices have never been lower, so if you want to come out to a Raptors game, I bet you should, because ticket prices are getting lower and lower and lower. For a game like Boston, you can get tickets $50 under. So come on out. Raptors need your support more than ever. Come support your Raptors team, because once we do get good in a couple of years, unfortunately, those tickets are gonna rocket back up, and it's gonna be hard to be able to support your team. Support your team while you can. But yeah, good to see the Raptors get to some winning ways. Boston, Milwaukee, Orlando, still a tall order for the Raptors to win any of those games. We'll see. Hopefully they can surprise once again, go on a little bit of a hot streak shooting, and win these games. But I appreciate you guys for listening to the Raptors podcast. I've been your host, Lucky Roberts. You can follow me on Twitter if you like. No worries. I'm not going to force you to do anything. Thank you guys for listening, and never underestimate the heart of a champion.